जी, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Yesterday we discussed about chapter number 4 of business studies and we closed that chapter. We discussed about the types of business organizations, the incorporated types of businesses and unincorporated types of businesses. And then we discussed sole proprietorship, partnership, private limited companies, public limited companies in detail. And then in the last session, we discussed about the joint ventures, and we discussed about the corporate sectors and public sector enterprises. So all of these things were covered. Today we're going to start a new topic, which is the business objectives and stakeholder objectives. So there are two parts of this chapter. The first chapter part of this chapter is related to the objectives of businesses, and we'll try to dig down in detail that what type of business objectives can be set by a business, and why is it necessary to set an objective for a business, and what type of business objectives can it be. So starting from the business objectives, what is business objective? Business objective is a question which you ask yourself when you are starting a business, that why I am doing this business. A business objective will be different for different people. Like, uh, Shayan beta, you have to mute your mic. Thank you. Uh, Business objectives is basically the question which you are asking yourself, that why are you trying to do the business. Many people think differently. Some of them may say that I am starting a business just because I have to serve the community. Some people might say that I have to earn the money. Some people might say that I am good in something, like I am good in cooking, that's why I want to start my own restaurant. I am good in presenting, I want to be a presenter, I want to be a motivational speaker. Some people might say they are good in medicine or they have interest in medicine, so they want to be the doctors. Some people are into engineering field, they love to make and break, so they most of the times get into the field of mechanical engineering. So similarly, all of the businesses are going to set up their objectives, that why exactly are they going to start. So if once you have set your own objective, you start setting the objective of a business. So a business objectives, by definition, it is the aims or targets that a business works toward. So it is going to be the aim or the targets of the business. First, why are we setting the business objectives? This is what we have already discussed. The benefits of setting the objectives are that why do you set an objectives? What benefits are going to have if you have an objective in the business? You are going to give the workers and managers a clear target to work towards, and this helps to motivate the people. If you believe that you are going to, let's suppose you are going to start a restaurant, you have an interest in cooking and you have an interest in managing a restaurant and you love to enjoy food. So if you have set up an objective for a business, it would be really helpful for not only for you but for all of the employees, that where we want to be in the next 1 year. If you set an objective that I want to be one of the most cleanest and finest restaurant in next 5 years, and for that you have to set a short-term objectives and short-term goals, that in first year I will brand myself so that more than 1000 people are served from my restaurant in a week. So I have going to target 1000 people in a week, and after 1 year I should have to reach this figure, that at least 1000 people should visit my restaurant in a week. So this is an objective been set by you. And once you set up this objective of 1000 people, what you do? You start advertising. Initially, in the first month, you will see that only 10 or 15 or 20 people will come to your restaurant. And gradually, this figure will start rising, and you will see yourself that your projection are either reaching your goal or not. If let's suppose after 6 or 7 months you are able to achieve 400 persons only, that means you are 600 people away from your goal. You have to push harder, you have to work harder. Similarly, the employees are seeing that we have got the limited number of customers coming in, so they will try to see by themselves, and they will be analyzing by themselves where is the problem. So basically, why are we setting the objectives? In order to be clearer in the goals, in order to be clearer in our minds and in the minds of the consumers, in the mind of the employees, in the mind of the anyone who is working with you, so that they know that this is the point where we are going to achieve, or this is the goal which we are going to achieve in next few months or few years. So this helps you to motivate the people. Second is, taking decisions will be focused on, will it help achieve our objectives or not? So as I said, that your initial goal was to reach 1000 customers a week. And every question you are going to ask yourself will answer it, that if this is helpful in achieving more customers or not. Let's suppose if you think that I have to advertise my restaurant on a billboard. So you'll ask yourself, how much number of clients I'm going to get after advertising on a billboard? Let's suppose if you see that only 200 people will be increased in 6 months, you will see that the ratio is too low. You need more people now. So by that way, you might be thinking on advertising by other means like cable televisions, like SMS marketing, like website, like social media marketing. So you'll keep on checking yourself every second or third day that what you want to do. And this will help you in order to achieve your goals as well. Next is, he said, clear and measurable objectives help unite the whole business towards the same goal. So if you have got the clearer objectives, so if the objectives are clearer, then that means you are basically helping your employees out in reaching the goal. That, as I said, to reach 1000 customers a week in 1 year. So after 1 year, we should have 1000 people coming into our restaurant every week. So this is a very clear objective. Every employee will understand this. And if you divide it in like 5 days, 5 working days, so 2 are like off days for you, let's suppose. So that means every day you need at least 200 people on your table. And if you are having like 20 or 30 people on your table, that means you are far away from your business objective. So business objective is going to be very clear that this is what we are going to achieve. And this will help all of the employees to unite. Next is, the business managers can compare how the business has performed with their objectives. So you are going to compare yourself, like, are we able to achieve 1000 in a week or not? So you keep on comparing yourself. So basically, this is going to be a tool for you to measure your performance. Otherwise, if you don't set any objective, you just open a restaurant and say, okay, if 20 people are there, I am happy. If 50 people are there in a week, I am happy. If 200 people are there in a week, I'm happy. So it won't make you happy, because at the end of the day, when you see your finances, you'll be in a loss. You have to set up a benchmark and a break even, that how many number of people you want, customers you want, at least to achieve to at least recover your expenses. If you're not setting any objectives, you won't be able to achieve the goals, and you won't be able to achieve the profits. That's why objectives are really important. What type of businesses can we set? A business survival objective. What is a business survival? Like, if you have set up a business, initially, as I have discussed earlier in the classes, that whenever a business startup starts, whenever there is a business startup, it is just like a newborn baby. It is just like a new seedling that has been extracted out of the plant. It is a new seed that is converted into a plant. You have to take care of itself, take care of it a lot. The reason is, these are the initial days. So initially, our objective is never to earn the profit, but to survive the business. Once that baby is grown up, once that plant is grown up, that now it can survive against the calamities, now it can survive against the strong weather conditions, that means it can prevail itself and it can earn profit as well. Like when you are converting a seedling into a plant, initially you are not talking about the fruit that which you are going to have from that plant. Initially, what you try to do is to save that plant only, that it is grown up. So once that plant is grown up, you start thinking about the fruits which you are going to get from that plant. So similarly, a business at the first stage looks for a survival. And if you survive, and by survival we mean meeting the expenses. So if your business is meeting the expenses at least without giving you a profit or giving you a minor losses, it's fine. So a business survival can be the first point. Second, once it is survived for a longer period of time, now the plant is converted and now it is going to be a fruit. Now you think of the fruits, that how much fruit I can get from this plant, how much profits I can get from this business. So when a business is owned by a private individuals rather than the government, it is usually the case that the business operated with the aim of making a profit. So private sector organization always look for a profit. That's the problem. And that's a good thing. So once it is grown up, you think of a profit. Now, why profit is important? Because obviously you are doing that. You are bearing an opportunity cost over there. You could have you could have been employed in any other organization or getting the salary out of it. So rather than getting a salary of 100,000 or 120,000 from that organization, you are sacrificing your 100,000 and you are basically doing this business and giving the time to this business. That's why you want to earn the profit, so that you can have something in your pocket. And secondly, you want the profit in order to expand your business. The same profit is reused in the business to expand. Initially, you have got one shop or one outlet. Once you are having a good profit, you use that profit to get a new shop or new outlet. That's how you start expanding. Initially, you were having one machine to produce biscuits. Once you are grown up, once you are like having a good profit, now you buy another machine to multiply your production. So profit is used either to keep it in your pockets or to reinvest in the business. Then returns to the shareholders. So profits is a term which is used for sole traders and partnerships. We have discussed in the last classes as well. So for the sole trader or partnerships, which is an unincorporated business, we use a term profit. But for the private limited companies and public limited companies, which is a kind of incorporated businesses, we use a word returns to the shareholders, dividends, retained earnings. We use these types of words. So basically, for an incorporated type of businesses, we use a word returns to the shareholder, and I call it, let's suppose your company is having a profit. So we call it, let's suppose, earnings after taxes. So in incorporated business, we use the word EAT, earning after taxes. That EAT has got two ways to. One way is to distribute this EAT in terms of dividends to the shareholders. And second way is to retain those dividend in form of retained earnings. Let me give you a clear idea. Let's suppose if a company has a retained earnings after tax of 100,000. So we have got 100,000 of profit. Out of that 100,000, you may decide to give dividends, and let's suppose you say that 60,000 is going to be distributed amongst the shareholders. Once you distribute the 60,000, this is called as dividend. And whatever is left, you have got 40,000 still in your pocket. You use this 40,000 to reinvest in the business. This reinvest is called as retained earnings. And the profit which you distribute among the shareholders, it is called as dividends. So I hope this thing is clear for you, that earnings after taxes are basically divided into two parts. First part is which we call as a dividend, and second part is which we call as a retained earnings. So either it is going to be a dividend or a retained earnings, and we use these terms in incorporated businesses, public limited company and private limited company. We never use a word profit. Profit is for shareholders, profit is for private sole traders and partnerships only. Okay, so returns to shareholder, basically this is what he's terming as a dividend. So he's talking about a dividend, that how much returns we are giving to the shareholders, the profit, the share of the profit we are giving to the shareholders. Okay, so if you're giving good profits to the shareholder, what is a good thing? Why you give good profit share to the shareholders? Basically, they are the investors in your companies. Shareholders are those people who are the owners of your business, who have got the shares of your business, who are the investors, who are the real investors. And why they have invested? Just because in order to get return out of that investment. So if you're giving them good profit, good returns on that investments, that means they are going to invest more in your business. And a business which is not giving a good returns on their shares, that means they're not going to invest. So you need to balance these two things, a dividends and retained earnings. You cannot say that all of the profits are going to be distributed among the shareholders, and you cannot say that all of it is going to be in the retained earnings. No, you have to balance these two things, because you need to grow the business as well as you have to give some share to the shareholders as well. This is the point, that the returns of shareholders is about to increase the profit. More the profit, more the people are going to be interested in investing in your business. And then eventually, if more and more people are interested in investing in your business, that will eventually increase the rate of the share price. And we'll discuss the share price thing in detail when we'll talk about the incorporated businesses. Then growth. Why the business objective can be a growth. Let's suppose we are talking about right now we are talking about McDonald's. What can be their objective? To grow. Survival is not their objective. Profit may not be their profit is their objective, but it may not be the major one. Now their objective might be to grow. Thinking about any other good brand which is coming into Pakistan, they are basically trying to grow themselves. So growth can be an objective. And why we grow? Because the higher the growth, the lesser the risk of failure. Higher the growth, higher the profit. And you are basically spreading your risks. You are basically trying to enjoy the economies of scale, that if you are doing the higher rate of production, that means your per unit cost is going to be lower. You can beat your competitors, and we'll discuss the growth and competition in detail in chapter number 18 as well. Okay, market share. What is market share? Market share is basically the share which you are having in the market by means of a share. Let's suppose we talk about the market share of beverages industry. So right now we are talking about beverages industry. What is beverages industry? The industry which is selling you the juices, the drinks, all of these things. So let's talk about the beverages industry. Let's suppose we're talking about the fizzy drinks. So
आवाज आ गई एकदम से
okay, if there is any problem. Okay, so the thing is, we were talking about the beverages industry, that let's suppose we're talking about the total shares of beverage industries, and let's suppose the total sales of a beverage industry is 100 million in Pakistan. 100 million a month in Pakistan. Out of that 100 million, we have got Coca-Cola, we have got Pepsi, and we have got some local companies. Other local companies are having the share of the. So if we say that Coca-Cola is enjoying, let's suppose 70 million, is having a sales of 70 million. Pepsi is having 20 or 20 million of sales, and all of the rest of the companies are having 10 million of sales. So right now, if we're talking about the share of an industry, that means the Coca-Cola is having 70% of the shares of an industry. If we talk about Pepsi, Pepsi has 20% share of the industry only. So what is the major point? What is the major objective of Pepsi? To increase this market share. But for Coca-Cola, they may have to retain this market share because they already have a bigger market share with them. So talking about the market share, the book says the same thing, that if, let's suppose, total value of sales in market is 100 million, a company A sold 20 million, then how would you calculate the market share? The sale of the company, let's suppose sale of a Pepsi was 20 and total market share was 100, multiplied by 100 and find out the percentage in it. So this is how we find the market share, and market share of Pepsi is 20%. Market share of Coca-Cola is 70%. So if the higher the market share, that means the business has higher grip on that sector. And the business will try, all of the businesses tries to expand their market shares. This can be a major objective of any business. Then providing service to the society. Some non-profit businesses are formed just to serve the society. Like government schools are there. There are some NGOs which are helping you out in eradicating the negative effects of the pollution. They are trying to plant the trees. There are some NGOs who are like helping out the poor in order to educate themselves. There can be social, environmental, or financial benefits which are going to be related with these non-profit organizations, NGOs. And then if your major objective is to provide a service to a society, that means your main objective is to serve, not to earn the profit. We cannot say we're not looking into a profit. We say the major objective is going to be providing the service to the society. This can be a objective. Okay, next question is that if these objectives, once you have set up your objectives, can they change? Yes, they can. And the reasons are pretty obvious. That let's suppose if we're talking about Pepsi over there, Pepsi has got 20 million share in the market and is declining. The situation is Coca-Cola is grabbing the share of the market, and whatever is left to the Pepsi, Coca-Cola is so much aggressive that they are trying to take the share of Pepsi as well, and they want to Pepsi to be out of the market in Pakistan. They don't even want to see Pepsi in Pakistan. So what is the strategy of Pepsi right now? Right now, the strategy of Pepsi would be the survival. So they want to survive now. After some years, let's suppose Pepsi is able to gain 40% of the share and it is just 50% which is remaining with Coca-Cola. Now the objective of Pepsi is not going to be survival. Now the objective may be to earn more profit, because now they are in a stable position. Now they are in a good position. So they are converting their objective from survival to a profit. Similarly, any new business which starts for initial 1, 2, 3 years, their major objective is survival. But after some years, their objective becomes the profit. Their objective may become growth. If they are having the profit after some year, they want to grow themselves. So objectives can change. And these are the things which are discussed by the author as well. I'll read it for you. That a business setup recently has survived for 3 years and the owner now aims to work towards a higher profit. So any business which is new and has survived for 3 years, that means that this business has survived a lot. Now the objective can be to earn profit rather than to survive. Then a business has achieved higher market share and now has the objective of earning higher returns for shareholders. Now you are having a good market share, that just like Coca-Cola, which was having 70% of the share of the market initially, their objective is to earn more now. So, and more the earning by the Coca-Cola, more the returns they are going to give to the shareholders. And third is the profit-making businesses operate in a country facing a serious economic recession has now the short-term objective of survival. Just like COVID-20 situation is over there. What happens is, we call it COVID-19. Why is the objective of the business are changing nowadays? Most of the business nowadays are not looking for profits. They are just targeting to survive themselves. That's why most of the business are basically just trying to eradicate the employees. More and more people are getting unemployed because they are firing more and more employees from their companies. The reason is because they want to survive. They cannot manage the expenses because there is no sales for them, or there is less than 10% sales left. So if there are lower sales and they have to meet the same expenses, the easiest option is to eradicate the employees, to let the employees leave their organization so that they don't have to pay a salary to them, to save the money. They can't do anything else. And they are saving the money from advertising. They are not advertising these days. They are like uh, not investing in any other businesses right now. Every business is trying to think of a survival. So a business objective can change according to the environment and according to the growth of structure of the businesses. Okay, so this was all for the day. It was a short lesson, but you have some activities to be solved. Tomorrow we are going to discuss about the stakeholders and the stakeholders groups and how the stakeholder is going to be linked with the business and why are they called as a stakeholder. Right now, let us do a short activity, which is activity 5.1, and that is a brief details for the businesses. A small firm of builders which has noticed new business being set up in the building industry. What objectives are they going to set? What do you think? A small firm of builder which has noticed new business being set up in the building industry. There are more and more competitors coming in. So what are their objectives? Profit or survival? What do you think? Survival. Perfect, Ahmed. So survival is going to be their objective now. Next is a recently established business in the rapidly expanding computer industry. Remember, recently established business in expanding computer industry, which is owned by two young and ambitious entrepreneurs. What is their objective? Again, survival. Yes, can be. And the business industry is going initially because they are recently established business. So initially their point is going to be to survive for some time before looking into profits. So initially they would look into survive. And once as the environment is supporting them, so soon after in a very few span of time, they will convert their objective from survival to profit, higher profit objective or growth, because the environment is safe for them, environment is behaving positively, but initially the objective is going to be survival. Third, a large book publishers which dominates the market in textbooks in your country. So it's a large book publisher already, just like the big book banks in Sadar or anywhere else in the main areas. So if it is a big book shop and they are running the business for 10 or 15 years already, what are they looking for? They are already the dominative factor in the markets. They are already dominating the market. So their major objective is going to be the profit. Exactly. And then a large group of people who are concerned about the lack of clean water provided to poor communities. So people who are concerned about the lack of clean water to be provided to poor people, what are they looking for? To earn profit, survival, or serving the community? It is basically serving the community because they want to help the poor in order to achieve clean water. They are not survival stage. So they are concerned about lack of clean water. Clean water is basically a necessity for people, for poor people, and they are just trying to provide them, and the business objective is going to be serving the community at this point. And then part B is, in each example, explain the decisions that would help the business to achieve these objectives. So think about the last one. So what decisions are going to help you out in giving clean water to the poor communities? Which decisions are you going to take to help the poor? Like you have to install your own water extraction plant. First, you have to have your own extraction plant If you cannot afford an extraction plant, you have to like take one on a rental basis, or you have to make a contract with somebody who can provide you a clean water, and then you have to transport that clean water to the poor people, and you have to find the ways for that. So basically, the decisions which you are going to take are in line or in accordance with the objectives which you have set. Right now they are not thinking about profits. Right now they are thinking about to provide the clean water, and to provide the clean water they need water extraction plant, and second, the transportation. They are not looking into a cheap transportation. They're looking into transportation, whatever transportation mode is available to them. If it is cheap, it's fine. Else, the main objective is to provide people with the clean water, not to earn the profit. But if your major objective is to earn profit, that means you are going to higher the prices. You are going to convert your brand into a stronger brand, just like Coca-Cola is doing. It keeps itself stronger day by day, so that no rival can beat them up. So the decisions are always in line with your business objectives. Okay, so this was all for the day. This was a short lesson, and tomorrow we will discuss. I am deliberately stopping the lesson at this point because stakeholder is a longer thing, and we need to discuss stakeholder in a detail tomorrow, and how these stakeholders are going to have an impact on the businesses, and what type of objectives the stakeholders can set. So that's why I'm deliberately stopping over there. Tomorrow we'll discuss about the stakeholders and their stakeholder objectives, and then we'll close this chapter tomorrow as well. So that's all for the day. Thank you very much for your time, and if there is any question till this point, you are most welcome to ask. Any question? Yes, Ahmed.